What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here at the Genki Gang channel. Today we are doing some more Python coding, and this is lesson 2 that will cover the print function, variables, and math. So if you haven't watched the first video in this series, go and watch that, and this will make more sense as you will know how to download Python, and you'll be able to see the editor, and you'll be able to see how to download the editor we use. So I'm going to be leaving a card to that in the top right, so go check that out. And other than that, let's get into it. So here we are in the editor. It's called Idle, and it's one of my it's my favorite editor, and it's not that colorful, but it does what it needs to do. So let's start off with the print function, just the bare minimum. Print Genki Gang is the best channel. Right, something like that, and then we need to put that in quotation marks or apostrophes. Either one is fine as long as you put in pairs of apostrophes or pairs of quotation marks. You cannot mix those together, it won't work. So yeah, now as you know, we have to go and we can save this as a new file, and we have to actually, well, kind of sucks, but new file, there we go, and then we can run that. Run module, we have to save it. Remember, you have to save it, or you should save it in a personalized folder for it, so you don't get it all mixed up. So yeah, let's save it like that. Invalid syntax. Now what is wrong here? It should run, I'm not sure. What the? Now can we run it? Oh yeah, because that arrows were there. Alright, so Gang is the best channel. Spitting out facts, like plain facts. Alright. Also, this isn't really the math that we're going to be covering, but this is something. So print 4 plus 2. So plus sign is just a plus sign, even in Python. 4 plus 2. And now you may ask, well, why isn't it printing out 6? Well, that's because it's in the strings. So once we get rid of that, because anything inside a quotation mark or inside the apostrophes is considered a string, and it's going to print just that. It won't do any other functions. It's going to print exactly what you've put on. So now if we get rid of it and do print 4 plus 2, it's going to put out 6, output 6. So that's what we want. And then you could do 4 minus 2, which equals 2. So that's just the minus sign and the plus sign. And then if you put an asterisk, it's going to multiply the number. So 8. And then if you put a backward slash, it will divide. So yeah, 2. And then oftentimes during division, it will turn into a float. And if you don't know what a float is, well, then I will explain it. So we already said that a string is anything that is inside quotes, or so yeah, quotes. And then an integer is a whole number. So a whole number, so like 2, 5, 6, 10. Those are all integers. And then a float is a number, a decimal number, so it could be 0.8256 or it could be 5.82567. It doesn't matter. If it has a decimal point, it is a float. So even if it's 3.0, that is still a float. So yeah, hopefully that clears that up a bit. And then so those are the basics. And now one other one that a lot of people may know is just double asterisk would square it, or to whatever power you are putting it to. So right now it should just be 16 because it's 4 to the power of 2. If we change it to 4 to the power of 3, it's going to be equivalent to 4 times 4 times 4. So it's not 4 times 30, it's 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. So if you don't know about exponents, I think you probably will if you are learning coding, but if you don't, you can search that up. But it's basically where if you yeah, you just search it up. I don't know really how to explain it, but And then we can also move to a bit more complex. So we could do something, then we can divide that by 9, and then times it by 8, and subtract 23. And now when we run that, it will print out 33.8886. So yeah, that is the plus, minus, multiplication, and division. So what else can we do? We could do the variables next. So actually no, before we do that, I'm gonna go over one more thing. It's another cool function. So it could be 12 backslash, and this is actually called the modulus division, and if we do it by 5, it should print out 2. So see if you understand that and why it does that. So that's going to be 2. Let's say if we put in 7, it's going to be 5, or 1, my bad. And why does it do this? When you are running a modulus division, it gives you the closest whole number to a quotient. So 12 divided by 5 would be a decimal number, but if we do this, it's is going to put 2 because it's like 2.4, right? So it's going to round to the nearest whole number, integer. So yeah, that's kind of that. If you have a question about that, you could leave it in the comment section below, and I will answer that. And then we can put in, oh wait, my bad. That is actually not called modulus division. I don't know what that's called. Modulus division is the percent sign. So I mixed those two up. Sorry, my bad. But the definition was correct. So yeah, just the name was wrong. So that's going to be 5. And then this one would be 2. And now take a moment and see if or 0. My bad, I haven't done this in a while. And then this should be 2. Yeah, because I put the wrong number. Yeah, 2. Oh, my phone's ringing. 1 second. Alright. Now, if that's on silent, take a moment and see if you can see what we're doing, and then unpause the video. Alright, so some of you may be able to tell. If you don't, that's okay. That's what we're here for. This will give you the remainder of a division statement. So 12 divided by 12 divided by 5 would give you a remainder, right? But so you can, if you divide 5 by 12, it's going to put another weird number. But if it will give you, you'll have 2 left, right? Because it can go 5, 10, and then for 12 you need 2 more. So it's going to run and put 2. Then with 7, you can only get 1 7 in, but then you have 5 other spots remaining, so it's going to put out 5. Hopefully that makes sense now. Alright guys, so now we are going to be getting into variables, the last piece of the lesson 2. So let's get into it. A variable is basically anything. The only criteria is that you need to give it a value. So let's go YouTube. Alright, I spelled that wrong. YouTube underscore gods. You cannot have any spaces. You can't start with a number, and there's a couple others that you can just search up. So yeah. I will also leave a math cheat sheet in the description of this video, so I just remember that. But yeah, so YouTube gods equals, and this one you don't need to do brackets, you can just put this, so it just knows that's a string and it's not like your, because otherwise you'd have to define it. So yeah, when can you use this? So let's pretend you're making a game called ping pong. Let's say, for example, so the ping pong ball, you want to change the color up every once in a while. So it would be so much more work if you had to go through every single thing and change the color from red to blue. But if you just had a variable defined color of ball, then you could change that between red, blue, and like green or whatever colors you want using the RGB scale, which is red, blue, and green, and all of those can go up to 250, and we can talk about that later. So YouTube gods equals gang gang. Right now it's not going to print anything, it's not going to be an error, it's just going to be blank. If you want to, if you actually want to see this, then you could go print YouTube gods. Alright, there we go. And now it's going to print YouTube gods, gangy gang. So yeah, that's where you can kind of use it there, and then you can also use it as, let's say YouTube gods equals that, and then we can go age equals 99, and then we could do city equals, I don't know, let's just go with New England. That has to be a city, right? Yeah, probably. New England. And then let's get one more. Let's get river. And that can be, I don't know, big river. No, let's be better. Big red river. Like, get on your game. Alright, so big red river. And now all of these would have to go in quotation marks, but the number does not, because that is an integer. So now we can go YouTube gods, and then we can go comma, and this is actually not correct, live in, and now we can go city, and then once again by the river, and then one last time, and they are age I don't know why I keep doing that. Old. Oh, let's change that to years old. So it's kind of a tedious process, but I promise you it's worth it when you're making a bigger game. So we run that, it might have an error. River is not defined. Alright, yeah, so it is case sensitive, so you should know that, but there are some ways you can go around that by doing other things. Age is not defined. Yeah, so as you can see, I forgot about what case I used. So yeah, Gangy Gang live in New England by the Big Red River, and they are 99 years old. So now we could easily change that to 1 year old. And they are 1 year old, so that wouldn't really work, but grammatically, but it does in a way. Let's go castle land, right? Yang live in Castle Land by the Big Red River, and they are 10 years old. Pow. So yeah, that's basically the variables, and then you can kind of use them in this kind of way. Next class or next lesson, we are going to be covering the input functions, and then if, elif, and else. So stay tuned for that next Monday. I'm sorry, I know this is coming on probably a Wednesday. I'm filming this on Tuesday, by the way. But yeah, I was kind of busy with a ton of tests for some reason. But yeah, it's been Gang Gang, and we're out. Hope you enjoyed the video.